Imagine being in a room where one single moment ripples through time, completely changing everything you thought you knew. That's exactly what happened on the Ides of March over 2,000 years ago. Hey, welcome back. Today, we're diving into the explosive story of how Julius Caesar's assassination not only ended a life but set off a chain reaction that transformed the Roman Republic into the mighty Roman Empire. Picture this: Rome, a city buzzing with power, ambition, and endless political maneuvering. Caesar wasn't just any leader. He was a military genius who had conquered Gaul, charmed the masses, and reshaped the very idea of leadership. But as his power grew, so did the fear among the senators. They saw in him the shadow of kingship, a danger to the freedom they cherished. And so, on March 15, 44 BC, in a dramatic twist straight out of a blockbuster, a group of 60 senators, including his once trusted friend Brutus, closed in on him in the Senate. In those heart-stopping moments, as daggers flashed and fate was sealed with 23 brutal stabs, Caesar's death was not just the end of a man, it was the beginning of an entirely new era. Now, you might be wondering, why would these senators risk everything to kill someone who had brought so much success to Rome? Well, many of them believed they were saving the republic from becoming a monarchy. They thought that by cutting off the head of a would-be king, they were preserving the ancient traditions of Rome. But here's the kicker: instead of restoring the old order, Caesar's death unleashed chaos. It's like trying to fix a broken machine by smashing one of its parts, it only makes things worse. After the assassination, the immediate aftermath was pure pandemonium. Rome wasn't exactly thrown a party in honor of the conspirators. Instead, the streets filled with angry citizens and mourning supporters of Caesar. His allies, most notably Mark Antony, didn't let the conspirators off the hook. Antony, with his impassioned speech at Caesar's funeral, "Remember that famous, friends, Romans, countrymen," moment, stirred the crowd's emotions into a frenzy. What started as a calculated act by a group of senators turned into a full-blown civil war that would eventually lead to the rise of a single ruler. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Out of the chaos emerged a young man named Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir. At just 19, Octavian wasn't exactly the man people expected to lead Rome, but he was smart, ruthless, and determined. He capitalized on the power vacuum left by Caesar's death and, with a brilliant mix of political savvy and military might, managed to outmaneuver both Mark Antony and the remaining conspirators. By 27 BC, Octavian had transformed himself into Augustus, the first Roman emperor, effectively ending the Republic and ushering in the age of the Roman Empire. So, what does all of this mean for us today? Well, the assassination of Julius Caesar is more than just an ancient historical event, it's a timeless lesson in the unpredictable nature of power and the dangerous ripple effects of political violence. Caesar's death reminds us that even the most carefully laid plans can backfire spectacularly. The conspirators intended to save their beloved republic, but instead they set off a chain reaction that led to years of civil war, the concentration of power in the hands of one man, and the eventual fall of a system that had lasted for centuries. Now, let's break it down a bit further. Imagine you're part of a close-knit team working on a big project. You all believe that one person's growing influence is going to ruin the whole thing, so you decide to take drastic action. But what if that one person was the glue that held the team together? Without them, chaos erupts, and instead of saving the project, you end up with a complete breakdown of the entire system. That's what happened in Rome. The senators, in their zeal to prevent tyranny, underestimated how much Caesar had actually held the empire together. Without him, the delicate balance of power shattered, and instead of a restored republic, the people were plunged into relentless warfare and uncertainty. The story of Caesar's assassination also teaches us about the nature of legacy. Despite the conspirators' hopes, their deed did not immortalize them as heroes. Instead, history has painted them as traitors. Names like Brutus are now synonymous with betrayal. Meanwhile, Caesar's legacy grew, not only in the pages of history but in the very language we use today. The title, Caesar, eventually evolved into Kaiser in Germany and Tsar in Russia, symbols of leadership that echo through the ages. And think about the sheer drama of it all. One moment, a leader is standing tall, commanding armies and reshaping nations; the next, he falls, stabbed by those he trusted most. It's a story of ambition, loyalty, betrayal, and the unpredictable consequences of power, elements that make it endlessly fascinating even today. By looking back at the events of that fateful Ides of March, we get a glimpse into how one act can dramatically alter the course of history. It reminds us that history isn't just a series of dates and battles, but a collection of human stories filled with passion, ambition, and sometimes tragic irony. The fall of Caesar set the stage for the rise of emperors and shaped the political landscape of Western civilization for centuries to come. So next time you hear the phrase, beware the Ides of March, remember it's not just a spooky warning from Shakespeare, it's a reminder of the power of individual actions and the unpredictable tides of history. Thanks for hanging out with me today and diving into this epic story. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most dramatic moments, hit that like button, subscribe for more fascinating stories, and drop a comment below on what historical twist you'd like to explore next. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning the past, because you never know which moment might just change everything.